Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where you are on the planet. And welcome to all the trade day team to the Tuesday, the 1st of July. Welcome to July. Welcome to the third quarter, and welcome to the second half of the year to everyone. And welcome to Trade Day. So this is Steve Marley in the call with the Bull versus Bear webinars. Tuesday, 1st of July. So, going to go for our usual regular run through. Welcome to anyone who's new. We do have a whole batch of new people joining us. As I'm sure you are now aware, or if you're not aware, you can see it here right on the screen. Trade Day's biggest offer yet. We're 40% off, as we've been anyway, but also no activation fee. And no activation fee if you sign up from today onwards. And we have expanded the number of multiple accounts. You can now up to 6 multiple accounts. So all good, all progression at Trade Day. So sign up. So I'm going to run through everything we need to run through today. It's not particularly busy overnight. Market's been in consolidation so far yesterday and into today. On the data front, looking at the calendar, we've had this morning the first of the Asian and European PMI data from HCOB and S&P Global. You can see for the Eurozone generally in here in green for France and for Eurozone as a whole. So positives there. Neutral for the UK. So that's all good. CPI data also for the Eurozone coming out, bang in line with expectations, preliminary data. And then moving into this afternoon, we could first of all get the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. That's at 9:45 for the US, 9:45 the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, and then the more closely watched ISM, Institute of Supply Management, US data. That comes at 10 o'clock Eastern. So we're watching 9:45 and then 10 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock, the more important piece of data for the manufacturing PMI. First one from S&P Global, second one from the ISM. We also at 10 a.m. get the JOLTS jobs openings data, so keeping an eye on that today as well. So significant data coming out through the day. On the macro side, let's turn to the morning briefings America out of Bloomberg. Trump going back at Musk again in here regarding the electric vehicle subsidies. But nothing that's going to really significantly impact markets, really. More on the tax bill, though. That's more of a negative in here. Republican leaders trying to get votes to pass this $3.3 trillion legislation. So stalling there on that a little bit. And some both positives and negatives on the trade side. Trump threatening to ramp up tariffs on Japan. But the European Union, the EU, willing to accept a trade agreement with the US that includes a 10% universal tariff on many of the bloc's exports. So that's a positive there. US equity futures overnight in here slightly lower, just dipping on the overnight. So not much more in there. Apple considering using artificial intelligence strongly from Anthropic or OpenAI. So nothing really that's impacting significantly. But then the headlines that we just kind of gone through there: Senate pulls all-nighter on Trump tax bill with the GOP still divided. Trump blasts Japan on rice. We spoke about that. EU to accept Trump's universal tariff but seeks key exemptions. Stock futures slipped slightly after we've been hitting, remember, record highs through last week, and then again going into this week yesterday, but overnight we're kind of just marking time. Stocks did edge up initially in Europe this morning, but a dip back lower. Dollar wobbles again from Reuters here, awaiting the tax bill to go through. Futures dipped after a record run as investors focus on the tax bill. And US stock market, key questions, the second half of 2025 kick off. So what we're going to be watching out for, well, the impact of tariffs on earnings. We're going to be watching the Fed amid pressure from Trump, and then elevated S&P 500 PE ratios. Can valuations remain where they are? Running around the overnights in here, Asia's lower, 1.25% on the Nikkei and nearly 0.9 on the Hang Seng. UK and European markets also dipping, with the UK FTSE, the German DAX and the French CAC down between 3 and 4/10 between them. And US stock average futures also lower in here this morning. And we'll see the S&P down and the Nasdaq down around 2/10 going into today. A quick look at the interest rate markets. Not much change in here. Still the market a very outside chance for a first rate cut in July, only pricing in the 20% in here from the CME FedWatch tool. If we take a look at the going into September, they're pretty much nailed on that we get a 25 basis point rate cut in September. But then by October, market's starting pricing in a second rate cut as we go into October, and then potentially a third into December. So the market now starting to price in September, October, December, three rate cuts there, with the Fed, remember, their last dot plot chart indicating there will be two by year end. Yields continue to drop in here, significantly lower yesterday and overnight, and this morning down lower. So yields, this is the 10-year yield pushing lower. And if we look at our analysis, market charts analysis in here, we'll see across the board 30-year bonds going to new highs yesterday in price, new highs on 10s, 5s getting back up to recent highs, and 2s marking time. So pretty much across the board here, markets moving to higher prices, lower yields across the yield curve, which should be supportive of stocks. As I said in here, stocks did just mark time a little bit yesterday. They did initially nudge higher, but then a slight dip, and then a slight dip again this morning. But the underlying theme remains bullish from this more recent breakout that we've had to the top side. That was pretty much triggered by the ceasefire last week. And after the ceasefire, the market's been one-way traffic, pretty much higher. Pausing today. Might be a little bit of a pause day today, but remember, we're keeping our eye on the data in here today. We do get actually Powell speaking as well today at 9:30. Is that today? Yeah. Powell speaking as well. Sorry, I missed that one out. Powell speaking at 9:30 today, and then we get the data. So sorry, Powell at 9:30. Then we get the S&P Global data at 9:45, and the more important ISM data, PMI data at 10 o'clock, and also that JOLTS jobs opening data. So busy morning in the US. So keeping an eye out for all those 9:30, 9:45, and 10 o'clock today. The data releases and the speech from Powell. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it all up there. I'm going to wish you all a great trading day. Take care, stay safe, and we'll be back with you with another Bull versus Bear webinar tomorrow. And don't forget to take advantage of our more multiple accounts, no activation fee, and 40% off sale. Have a great one, guys.